We're into the second half of It, Welcome to Derry, and I think episode 5 probably produced maybe the best episode of the show that we've seen so far. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment, here to review episode 5 of season 1. This one was called 29 Neibolt Street, and I thought it was the best episode that we've seen, definitely, of this series so far. We've got a bit more of It the Clown, we've got a bit more horror involved in this episode, and we actually got a bit of a surprise, because it turns out Matty is actually no longer alive. He's been dead all along, and it was actually It taking the form of Matty, which, with hindsight, maybe we should have seen that coming, because he did look a bit discoloured. When you see him at the end of the last episode, and for the most of this episode, he did look a bit white, a bit pale, a bit ghostly, and it turns out that, I guess, It can take the physical form of former humans. I guess anybody he eats or kills, he can take their physical form, because, yeah, for the most part, it did look like Matty survived, but nah, it was just him pretending to be Matty to lure the kids back into the sewers, where it wasn't only the kids that went into the sewers, we also got the military going in there, and I thought we got a good episode.
Looked like it's Sheena Ghost, but it combined the adult storylines with the kids storylines.
Yeah, intertwined, and maybe even it was like the least woke episode so far. Did they put the whole racial tensions on the back burner for the most part?
For the most part. I mean, I think no matter what, you're going to get some of them, but we'll get to them when we get to them. But I thought, yeah, I agree. Good episode, easily the best for me, and you actually got to see the clown, you got to see it in action, and you got to see the sewers in action, which is a big point of this universe.
Yeah, absolutely. So the kids group finds Matty at their hiding place, and he reveals that Phil is alive. He doesn't want to go back down there, and he certainly doesn't want to go to the police, because the police will take him back to his house, and his father is the last person that he wants to be around. So Matty's not playing ball. Matty isn't willing to go to the police and tell the truth and basically get Hank, get him away with the crime of killing those kids, and neither does he want to go back into the sewer. So basically Matty at this point isn't playing ball, but the kids try and convince him to go back under. Meanwhile, we have O'Halloran, who's basically read the mind of Daniel, and he's basically found out the truth and where this evil spirit is located, and it turns out to be 29 Neibolt Street, where we see James Remar. He gets his crew, he gets them ready, he rallies the troops, and he sends them on a mission to go into Neibolt Street and to go underneath the sewers. So, yeah, I mean, you can just tell that we're going to get something interesting here, because we've got the military going underneath the sewers, we've got the kids going underneath the sewers, we know that's where It lives. You know, something was going to happen here.
No, definitely, James Remar putting this over, he's like, we dropped this in Korea, we wouldn't have lost so many good men. But
James Remar playing General Francis Shaw. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's got anything on, Harry Morgan. But I like James Remar. I definitely probably would check out anything he's in.
Question is, so how many men are you willing to lose capturing this creature to make it worth it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Straight off the bat, he's coming across almost as an antagonist, because he knows this thing is evil. He knows the threat this poses, but he's almost willing to use it against his enemies. And yeah, it comes across as corruption, doesn't it? Because
the Russians were good as well. What's stopping the Russians after they drop Pennywise on them? The Russians like, right, we're going to drop him back on you then.
Yeah, but this seems like it could end humanity rather than end a war. Pennywise seems like he could be the end of the world.
Like the Native Americans managed to restrict it to a certain location. What's it to stop going all over mainland Europe if you drop it in the USSR?
Yeah, I think this could be the end of the world, so I'm not too sure I agree with General Shaw, but that's his plan. He's planning on using it to essentially win the war with ease and lose the least amount of soldiers as possible. I get it, but for me it's not very honourable.
No, it's definitely not honourable, and
not the American way.
Well, I mean, I don't think the Americans have ever really been honourable when it comes to wars, but at the end of the day, this would be a whole new weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah, no, definitely. So we hear about how It basically sleeps for 27 years, then repeats its cycle of killing and doing these violent acts, and then sleeps again. Kind of gave me Jeepers Creepers vibes, because I guess he'd done that, although I think he was every 23 years.
It's like a shite version of Jeepers Creepers, isn't it?
Yeah, either way, Hank is getting sent to Shawshank Prison.
Is this the same Shawshank Prison?
I believe so, but...
It's in the same universe?
Yeah, we've got Rose. She is trying to prevent that from happening, basically just because he is black. Although she knows the truth now that he didn't do it, or at least in his own words, he didn't do it. But yeah, I think it's over dramatic the way she's like so hell bent on getting him off with this crime that she doesn't know whether he committed or not. But the bus has an accident. The prisoners escape, including him. We then see him meeting up with Ingrid, who is a woman that I think just got introduced in this episode, where she meets with Lily. It turns out she's got like this abusive husband who's basically threatening her to get his steak out and get his food out, and it better be warm and it better not be tough like it was last time. And then we end up seeing Hank appear in the back of her car. So after he escapes from the prison bus, he gets in her car. At first, you're kind of led to believe that he's got her held at hostage, but then she drives out into this like obscure location where they've got privacy, and they share a kiss. So it turns out that this is a woman that Hank was sleeping with. So again, it's more like here, we weren't actually having an affair. I was almost trying to save her from her abusive husband kind of deal. So Hank's a good guy here. He didn't kill the kids. He's just a normal hardworking dad who, yeah, he had an affair, but technically he's a good guy because her husband was bad.
Evil white man, great black guy. No, see, in 2025, you're not getting the abusive black father and the saviour white man.
No, definitely.
For numerous reasons. A, the black guy, 9 times out of 10, won't be there to be abusive. And B, it's woke.
Yeah. Anyway, so we see both groups then transcend into the what they call it, the sewers. So they go in through different entrances. The kids kind of go through this. I guess. I mean, it just looks. I mean, they literally enter it through like a sewers. I guess this lake
where Matty takes them.
Yeah. But we've got the military there entering through 29 Neibolt Street, and we see a couple of just unknown military members. They get separated from the group after O'Halloran. He jumps into this like puddle, I guess this like deep puddle, and he ends up coming through a bathtub, and we get some like visions of him and his, I guess, grandpa, and his grandpa's making some weird fucking noises, and he shoots his grandma and all this shit. So O'Halloran like almost transports into a different universe here. I'm not quite sure how this works, but then we see the two unknown guys just get taken out. Then we've got what's the guy's name again? The leader, the main guy, Leroy. That's
Leroy.
No, is it Leroy?
It is.
So Leroy and Polly, they're kind of separated as well. So basically, the entire group gets separated. It's down here. It then takes the form of Leroy's wife,
Rose.
Is it Rose, or is that Charlotte? I thought it was Charlotte.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Rose.
Well, either way, Rose or...
No, sorry, actually.
No, Rose is the Indian woman,
Aye.
it's Charlotte. Yeah, I knew that. So he sees a form of Charlotte, but then he remembers being told that Pennywise will literally take over visual images of anything that you care about. So anything that shouldn't be down there, essentially, you just have to shoot and kill because it's going to be Pennywise. So he takes a shot at his wife and he shoots her in the head, and it turns out that it's not his wife because his wife then just recovers from this, shot to the forehead and scuppers off down the sewer. So then we get Leroy and Polly, they continue going down, and I guess they're thinking it was an illusion. The kids then see that Matty's beginning to act a bit weird, and before we know it, like, teeth start growing out the back of Matty's head.
They're swinging around.
Yeah, even though they took their little pills, it's not really helping them. They took some of Lily's Muller's pills to try and help them relax, but it doesn't really work. Matty transforms into Pennywise, and they see that the dead body of Matty, so it turns out Matty's already dead. Phil, who Matty said was alive, is also dead, but of course that wasn't Matty who said that. It was Pennywise. He's lured them down here. He's going to eat them, and yeah, the kids try and run. Lily gets separated, but before Pennywise can chomp on her, there was this, I don't even know what you would call it, but it's like some sort of object.
Protected stone.
Protective stone, that'll work.
That
Daniel dropped this and it somehow slipped down the sewers and it landed in between Lily and Pennywise, which is a bit of a coincidence, but I mean, lucky for her because it prevents Pennywise from getting to her and eating her, so I guess Pennywise cannot go past this stone or some sort of like, I guess some sort of obstruction towards Pennywise, so there's nothing he can do. That saves her life. And then we see the kids running down the sewers. Hank can hear them. Oh, not Hank, sorry. Leroy can hear them. And he goes to shoot them, but Polly then, he can see them too, so he realises that these kids are real, and it's not just another illusion that Leroy is having, so he tries to prevent Leroy from shooting, but he jumps in front of the gun, which probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, ends up getting shot, and Polly just bleeds out. Leroy can't save him. Leroy, though, does grab him and he gets him out of there along with the kids, but unfortunately Polly's already passed away. And then we see O'Halloran at the end. He manages to escape too, and when he gets outside he sees the dead body of Polly, who appeared to be again like a ghost. And is this Pennywise maybe taking control of Polly's dead body? Wasn't entirely sure, but that's kind of how the episode came.
That's what it made me believe. But again, we know Halloran can't die. He's in The Shining, so he's almost in a protected bubble compared to everybody else.
No, definitely, but they all got out in the end. Well, minus Polly and a couple of unnamed military men.
It's like Polly gets shot, and like, I mean, I'm not saying the guy should hold much animosity towards him because it is a fucked up situation, but you almost feel like it's like, oh, it's all right, you shot me, my black friend. It's okay, don't worry about it. I could swear this was swap, man. You racist cracker, you fucking shot me. Any excuse to fucking pull the trigger.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far. Like, it was an accident. You know what? I think. I didn't mind this Polly character, but I just don't think we got enough of him.
He hasn't been there.
The last few episodes, I think, yeah, we've seen him a bit in 1 and 2, but I honestly cannot recall him at all in episodes 3 and 4. So
he was a good man. Maybe.
Yeah, no, I liked him, but at the end of the day, I think when he died here, it was just kind of, he's dead, but, they didn't flesh out the character that much, so I wasn't going to, cry my eyes out or lose too much sleep over Polly's death, but I mean, that is pretty much it. So, I thought this was a good episode. I liked that we got to see more of Pennywise himself, and we got to see a bit more horror, and obviously when you're down in the sewers, an enclosed space, dark and stuff like that, and you've got this mad fucking killer clown running around trying to eat you, then that is going to create a pretty horror themed atmosphere. So I think the show's been missing that up to this point. I mean, it's kind of just been illusions and people fearing and seeing things, but we actually got to see the actual threat, which I think is always good.
No, it is good, and again, it is the whole reason why people are watching this. And I don't even know if there's a season 2, but forget about that for now. It's like
there's 3 seasons.
We're more than halfway through the first season. I think it's time we get to see more of this.
Well, there's 3 seasons, so
well, there we go.
3 seasons, 3 different time frames, and it's like 27 years apart. So, but they've started with the middle. The middle time frame, which is kind of weird. I thought they would have went first time frame, then 27 years later, then 27 years later, but no, they're doing.
They also alluded to the fact that the previous spell wasn't too bad. I was only a couple of kids here, so
yeah. So
maybe that time's all right.
Yeah, but I thought this was a good episode. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. I thought it was the best episode so far.
I'll give it an 8 out of 10 as well. Probably. I mean, I don't want to downplay it, but it's probably as good as an episode I thought it could be. This show could produce.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the final 3. We are into the second half now, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, 8 out of 10, guys. That is it for episode 5. Looking forward to episode 6, and who knows, maybe now is the time to do death predictions. I've been kind of holding it off for a bit because the first few episodes you're getting introduced to all these different characters, so you can't really. You don't really know the characters to predict their deaths, but I think going into the final 3 episodes we'll probably do a death predictions video, because I'd have to imagine that we are going to see a bunch of these people, bite the dust and die. So yeah, that's it, guys. Till next time, 8 out of 10, peace.